If you're a fan of live-action craziness, get ready for one that I never thought they'd do. This is 2015's Assassination Classroom. For those that know of the show, you already know what you're getting yourself into. For those that don't, you've probably seen the main character floating around in memes for the last 7 years. Well, now you'll get to see what that looks like in real life. Creepily realistic. Spoiler alert! While I might be giving you my opinion on the film, that's no substitute for watching it for yourself. Links to the film are in the description. We start off in space, as we see that most of the moon has been blown to smithereens. When we focus back on Earth, we see that soldiers are getting ready to jump out of a plane, and they parachute in the middle of a storm that seems to be centered on something that came down to Earth from space. As they close in on the creature that fell, they start to get snatched up from all around. Eventually, the soldier raises his camera to show the control room what they're facing. Then we cut over to Class 3E, and they stand for attendance. Their teacher's none other than the smiley face alien that landed. When he goes to take roll call, the class stands with their guns and shoots the alien. But they can't seem to land a single shot. Class 3E is the class of rejects, and they're the group that the school has just given up on. Their classroom building is off campus up on a hill, and they're pretty much out of sight and out of mind. Imagine going to the one place that's supposed to put everything they have into you being a success, but they just give up on you instead. How are you supposed to ever have a hope for a future at that point? Now imagine they decide to have you kill an unkillable alien and put the fate of the world on your shoulders. Karasuma's from the Ministry of Defense, and he explains to the class that they're tasked with killing the smiley creature. They have until next March to kill him, and Karasuma gives them a demonstration of the alien's speed. On top of that, Ms. Arena is an assassin, and she joins the class in their attempt to kill him. Whoever manages to kill the alien will be rewarded 10 billion yen. I don't know what the exchange rate is for yen, but that sounds well worth my time to try and kill him. Sign me up for this. Ms. Arena was actually sent to take out the creature on her own, but even her high-tech weapons and power were no match for the creature. By the end of the roll call, the teacher's left untouched, and no one's late for school. I'd say that's a successful day for the teacher at least. As the day goes on, Karasuma trains everyone in means of assassinations, and everyone seems to know that Nagisa is one to take notes on different weaknesses he notices. The classroom bullies convince Nagisa to go through with a plan today, and when it comes time, Nagisa goes up to the teacher to attempt his assassination. At first, it seems like it didn't work, but the bullies end up blowing up a grenade that they gave Nagisa. They think they've won, but soon, the teacher shows that he protected Nagisa and got away in time. He scolds the students for such a heartless tactic, and he tells Nagisa that an assassination with that sacrifice isn't worth it. After this, the students finally give the alien the name Koro-sensei, and they go back to their studies. The next day, they end up catching Koro-sensei in a trap, where they put dirty magazines in a net, and they try to kill him, but he's still too quick. Soon, a new student named Karma appears, and he manages to show Koro-sensei that he's someone to look out for. Later, fighter pilots pick up Koro-sensei on their radar, and we see that Sensei's grading papers while traveling at Mach 20. How did he become this alien? And how do I do it? I need this power. If it means I have to walk around like a Walmart mascot with tentacles, I can live with that. Over time, Koro-sensei and Karma seem to have a personal war going on, and Nagisa takes a moment to talk about their teacher. Soon, Koro-sensei shows up, and Karma uses his last plan. He throws himself off a cliff since Koro-sensei would sacrifice himself to save his students, and he pulls out his gun. Koro-sensei ends up using his tentacles to create a sticky web under Karma, and Karma realizes that he's as good a teacher as he preaches to be. Back in the war room, the generals are talking about the possibility of more extreme measures. They tell Karasuma about a transfer student they're going to be sending to kill Koro-sensei. But they're worried that she'll end up being more dangerous than she's worth. Soon, they introduce a robot girl that's essentially an armory in a box. The class gets so tired of her turning every class session into a shootout, and they lock her up in chains to keep her from pulling her guns out during class. After school, Koro-sensei approaches the robot girl and gives her data for all of the students in the class to make her more personable to her classmates. She spends all night learning about her classmates, and the next morning, everyone gets the robot girl downloaded on their phone as a friend app. They all decide to call her Ritsu, and they all decide to work on this together. Ritsu actually tells them that there's another transfer student coming in today, and soon someone comes crashing in through the ceiling. Itona takes a seat, and his guardian comes in to introduce him. Then Itona approaches Koro-sensei, and he makes it known that he's there to kill him. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the whole point of this class. Just saying. What I didn't see coming was him telling Koro-sensei that they're related by blood. This little midget? But then he whips out a tentacle that takes off one of Koro-sensei's tentacles. Now I'm a firm believer. Koro-sensei's furious to see the tentacles, and Aitona seems to have him on the run. Eventually, Koro-sensei outsmarts him and throws him out of the ring. His guardian retrieves him, and Koro-sensei seems to have a flashback to a tragedy that he experienced when he became what he is. Then the class goes back to their daily studies. At the end of the day, Nagisa asks him why he came to their class, and Koro-sensei tells him that he's simply following through with a promise he made to someone. Koro-sensei then mentions that they could stay at school over the weekend to have more chances to train and assassinate him. Later, Karasuma makes his midterm report on each student's progress as an assassin, and each of them has a strength to speak of. Then he gets to Nagisa. Okay, so Nagisa's apparently an unspeakable beast. We don't see it just yet, but the tension that's built up right here pretty much means nothing other than he's probably the best all around. Then the boys make a mission to sneak to the girls' showers, and they show more skill in their parkour sneaking on this mission. In the locker room, Koro-sensei disguises himself as a girl, and he spies on them to hear their juicy stories. Of course, the girls start hunting him down. Meanwhile, Karasuma seems to get a worrisome call from the headquarters. Soon, Koro-sensei flies into the room to hide, and Karasuma tries to find out what he was like before he was human. We see that there was a woman present on the day of his accident. After camp, Nagisa tries to catch the eye of a higher classman girl, but him being in Class E means that they should never mingle. Soon, Akira shows up to teach the children techniques that Karasuma doesn't do, and the students think that he's a much friendlier version. But that night, Karasuma sees that Akira's tactics are anything but friendly. I hate to be that person, but they're running out of time. The world's about to be blown up to chunks. Maybe it's time to try some unorthodox methods after all. But then you see Akira smack the crap out of one of the students because she says she prefers Karasuma's class. Karasuma intervenes, and Akira decides to have a fight with whoever Karasuma says is the best student to determine who will stay and who will leave. Karasuma picks Nagisa, and he takes the knife that he's supposed to use to beat Akira. When Nagisa goes to face Akira, his whole demeanor changes. It changes so much that he's able to just walk up to Akira and put the knife to his throat. Nagisa politely asks Akira to leave since he won, and he does just that. Koro-sensei talks to Karasuma about Nagisa's potential as an assassin, and they start to wonder who will be the one to actually carry out their mission. The next day, Koro-sensei shows up with a bloated head, and one of the students walks right up to him to ask him to drink the poison she made. He agrees to try her concoction, and he ends up giving her technical feedback on her attempt. Koro-sensei's probably the best thing to ever happen to these kids, and in general. He seems like a great teacher. How many of you can honestly say that you had a teacher that inspired you like him? And this guy's teaching them to kill him, and he's still doing a better job than some teachers I had that only had to teach basic math. Suddenly, Koro-sensei has the students, Karasuma, and Miss Arena meet him in the yard. He gives them some of their best lessons and backup plans, and he flies off to come back with a massive satellite from outer space. He does all this to prove to his students that they absolutely have to master all of their skills for their best plans to work. He makes a deal with them. If they do well in their midterms, he'll remove more of his tentacles, which makes him a much slower target. Eventually, he takes his teaching techniques to a whole new level, as he takes his students around the world to experience their subjects firsthand. The field trips seem really beneficial to get everyone involved, and the school's starting to take notice. After midterms, 2 of their classmates are awarded for reaching the top of the class, and the students manage to get 6 students in the top of their subjects. That means Koro-sensei will have to lose 6 tentacles when they decide to make their attempt. After a lot of preparation, they come to the final day before their assassination attempt, and Nagisa comes face to face with the girl from the higher class. He finally speaks to her, and she seems to like him as well. That night, the students watch the fireworks and wonder if they can actually kill Koro-sensei. On top of that, they start to wonder if they really want to. Koro-sensei joins them, and he wishes them luck in their assassination attempt on him tomorrow. He hopes that they'll give it everything they've got. By morning, everyone gets ready for their attempt, and they're armed to the teeth. They set up a firing squad outside, and they get ready to use all of the data they've collected on Koro-sensei over the years. They initiate their plan to use water as another means of slowing him down, and they attack him. It seems to be a success when he explodes, but when everyone gets up, they find that Koro-sensei is in his absolute defense form, where nothing can penetrate the ball that he's in now. Suddenly, a vehicle crashes through their fence, and that Akira teacher shows up as kids start dropping. This crappy teacher has poisoned some of the kids, and they only have 3 days to get the antidote or they'll die. That's low, even for this jerk. And dumb since he didn't poison Nagisa. Why wouldn't you poison the psychopath that beat you in the first place? How is this guy an assassin? He calls out Nagisa as the reason he's a laughingstock at the ministry, and he decides to make them all suffer. As a trade, Akira says he'll give them the antidote if they'll give him Koro-sensei. Suddenly, Itona's tentacles throw Karasuma, and Karma has Nagisa run away with Koro-sensei's ball. Now it's a race to see who can stop who first. While the chase goes on, the students try to help those with fevers. Karma and Nagisa climb a tower, but Itona catches up to them quickly. Nagisa can't keep going because Itona breaks the ladder, and it comes down to Karma to keep Koro-sensei away from Itona. Finally, Karma tries to act like he's giving Itona the ball, but Nagisa catches him and waits for an answer. Soon, a thunderstorm starts, and when the rain hits Itona, he can feel his tentacles reacting to it. Karma can't even act like this was all part of the plan, even though actually, it was. Because this was their backup plan for Koro-sensei if their first attempt didn't work. Smooth move. Now that Itona's tentacles are useless, Nagisa calmly walks over and cuts them off. Then Nagisa goes to meet up with Akira to try and get the antidotes and save his classmates. Akira has a foolproof plan, but Nagisa tries to reason with him to let the class be the ones to kill Koro-sensei. Nagisa plays the fool, but when he gets a message from Ritsu that things are ready, he hands over the bag that they think Koro-sensei's in. It turns out to just be a soccer ball, and the students all come out to face the assassins. It turns out their science classes paid off because they were able to make their own antidote, so they managed to turn the tide and capture Akira and his men. Then the military shows up to handle the situation. Karasuma starts the video call to Koro-sensei inside, and he tells his class how proud he is of them from inside as he gets buried in BBs that are designed to kill him. They watch as he's buried, and they count down to the moment that Koro-sensei's getting out of his ball. When they reach 0, they confirm that Koro-sensei has in fact been defeated. The students start to mourn the loss of the greatest teacher they ever had, but then another anime thing happens. Koro-sensei appears crying right beside them from inside the control room. It's too perfect. If you aren't watching all of these anime shows yet, you really should be. Nothing will get you every emotion possible more than anime will. The class goes back for their second term in trying to assassinate Koro-sensei. Before we say goodbye, we see the flashback of Koro-sensei's past where he promises the dying woman that he'll teach the students in Class E. The woman's none other than the previous teacher of Class E, and he tells her that her class has surpassed all expectations and they're absolutely great kids. Then the credits roll. Live-action anime movies are so hit and miss, but this one's actually a really faithful rendition of the show. I ended up watching all of these parts and remembering the exact moments in the show that matched up. Give it a shot. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more like this one. Comment what you think I should watch next, and I'll see you in the next video.